Good evening, everybody. We are back again a bit later because I had a few things which I needed to arrange. Everybody, welcome in another live stream. Today it will be a little bit shorter because I need to pick up my wife from the airport. So I need to drive to Düsseldorf in Germany to pick her up. So therefore a little bit shorter. But we had some cool news. Yes, you might have seen it. Today we released the Raw 2 Anchor S. Finally, it's there. And if you own the Anchor S system, there are a few things which are easy now with our recent plugins. So if you would load Raw in your music host, maybe you're working with Raw at this given time, then you go to the upper right corner, and there you can say download latest. It will start downloading the latest version. Of course, close your music program, run the installer, and next time you have the Anchor S compatible version of Raw 2, but also the new presets in the Edgy leads. And I had somebody on Facebook who said, oh wow, there are some very cool Edgy leads, new ones inside Raw 2. And I mean, Raw 2 is not for everybody, maybe, but I think if you make modern contemporary music, there might be some things you might like, or EDM, or hardstyle, or hardcore. So it's very versatile. There are also different bangs, of course, inside of it. So this is the lead sound which I use in this track. So it's really a guitar type of lead sounds, but also to unlimited type of stuff. Really edgy lead sounds, but they are very popular. So Raw 2 has its own range of fans. Yeah, some very good ones. You open the modulation wheel. It's always cool to do that. Let's see. And of course we have the ribbon controller. Makes it a bit less raw. High pain, this one is called. Okay, so this is version 101. So, well, so this is the normal RAW, but if you have the complete control or machine 3, you see that once you did run the installer of RAW 2 with the new data, you can, in case RAW 2 doesn't pop up, you can go in the preferences and do a rescan so that it appears. So you see here, I selected RAW, so here you have RG and RAW, and then here on the right hand side they have the browser. So you have all banks, which means that you see all the presets, which are over 3,000. Or you can say, okay, let's go to one bank, for instance the Edgy bank, and you have auditions. So each time you click, it plays an audition, but it doesn't load the sound. So that's a cool thing from the Yancast. You don't have to load in the plugin and these and actually the preset to hear what is actually inside of it. So I made it a little bit softer. So these are audition audio examples. So if I double click it now, it loads in. You see here it loads in. Now it's loaded into the complete control. Up here you can select again a different preset by going up and down. And you have then the parameters, which my webcam doesn't do what it wants to do. But anyhow, you can control them with the controller. You can control then the X and Y, the speed. You see the parameters here, and there are in total 8 pages. Oscillator 1, oscillator 2. All kind of options which are inside of it. So this is also EQ you can control from here. So this is the pre-EQ. You see the of course it needs to be active, but then you can see I can change it here with these parameters. So that's inside the complete control, and as mentioned, so I think here is, let me see where it is. This is all the features. Let me see, where's the menu again? Okay, I'm looking here for the manual. No, because for rescanning you need to do this inside complete control. Oh, there it is, sorry. Here it is, in the little 3 dots, you have preferences. Yeah, and in preferences you can go to library or for instance plugins, so that it rescans the plugins. I won't do this now, but then it will appear. So that's what we released. And everybody welcome in the chat room. I can see everybody popping up. So if you use the RAW 2 or the Explore 10 bundle, you can upgrade it by going to the control menu, click on download latest, do say yes, and then it should be download the latest version. Download latest, and it says you have the latest version, Rob. Yeah, sure. Now you see it pops up that I have the latest version. Well, this is the 125% size. Here, what you see, normally I use 150% because my screen is pretty big. It's 1400 pixels in height. But for the video, I created using the 125% size version. Okay, but what is the other news? So let me tell some news about the music side. We have, and I need to make the link. I need to hear this back from Gerald, because Klangwelt has a new album. Here it is. It's called Klangwelt Second Nature. I played already a few tracks of it, and it's very nice. His first album already was cool. So here you open it. You see I don't have the CD. It's on my computer because I want to play at the end a little piece of it. Klangwelt, Second Nature, this album. I will put in the description box also a link. So hopefully it's available already. Most likely it will be. So if you would go to the label, which is Spheric. I hope I pronounced it well. Spheric. I butcher always the name. Spheric Music. They will be on E-Day, which is next Saturday. If you live close to Eindhoven, there's a little city called Oorschot. There's a nice event with the whole day electronic music, and at the end even a appearance of Harold Grootskopf with two members of the current Tension Dream. So definitely something you need to check out. So I will play this album at the very end of the live stream, which will be a little bit shorter because I need to go out to the airport. So I will add the link in the description box if I have the purchase link. And so it's brilliant, a very nice album of Gerald Arendt, which you might know from the Blue 3 presets we did, which are inside the Explorer bank, Explorer 10 bank. Okay, yeah, then there is news for my own music history. Groove Music, we did release an album from 1981, so from the last century. More than 40 years ago. And it was an album, we produced this one. Ruud van Es and Peter Commerce, they started PERU, hence the name PERU, Peter and Ruud. And the second album was done, they pressed it themselves, but then it started to being played on the Dutch radio, and then later on we did get a label contract. But this is the original album, vinyl, and it has a, you see, the backside. It was done on, essentially on 4-track Stereoc. We played it semi-live in a very small studio from Peter and Ruud, and it became in the Dutch scene, electronic music scene, a real classic. So it's now again released, and also this one I will put in the description box. You can order it on Groove Music on CD, and here is the CD with the original cover. These are also the original masters what we used, because there was a re-release of this album, but that one was a little bit remixed using the 4-track in a studio, and that made the balance a little bit different. So this is using the original 2-track mastering, which was also was used and mastered for the vinyl version. Now you see the CD is inside of it. Also one error I did correct, because at that time I did not use a CL string, but I used an organ, a Hem H7000 organ, which we did customize. It had the monophonic synthesizer on board and a very, very nice spacey vibe sounds. And I used on the volume, you had also a pedal where you can do some pitch glides. So very special organ. It's pity that it's so big. Otherwise, I would try to get it back in my studio. But these organs are huge. But this is a classic album. What we also added is 2 demo versions. So the demo of the original track, U2P and Deja Vu, are demo versions, so pretty freaky. And one song, Capricornus, which also from that date, which was a, well, definitely a freak session. So the last 3 ones are essentially interesting for the ones who think, okay, what are you guys doing in the studio at that time outside the official tracks? So if you are into electronic music, you like maybe Klaus Schulze, a Tangerine Dream, that type of music, check this one out. And the description will be in the YouTube box after I did the the live stream included the link for Klangwelt, but I also will play Klangwelt a little bit. I think Gerald will not mind that I play it. So, yeah, and of course you wonder how it's going with this new plugin. Well, it goes great. It's moving forward very well. I hope that we can release it just ahead of my holiday, which would be at the end of June, and otherwise it will be July. It also depends on other things we don't have any control over. But in general, it goes well. We're working on presets. Jamal will pop up with some presets, so I had contact with him, and of course he always has brilliant material for us. Okay, let me see if the chat room, yeah, normally today is a bank holiday in the Netherlands, so which means that it's very busy in the Netherlands on the road. People have a day off. I did work most of the day, and of course doing a live stream today. So Raw 2, new presets in the Edgy leads. Then of course you see all the banks here, a lot of stuff, but also, for instance, the bank from Klangwelt. So Gerard Aaron made this Klangwelt, and he also was surprised by Raw 2 because he thought really you would expect a particular sound from Raw 2, but it can do far more. It can also be very gentle, different. So let's play a few of his sound. So I'm playing sounds from the Klangwelt bank, which is a total new bank in Raw 2 compared, for instance, to the original Raw. So if you think, okay, Raw 2 is only for edgy sounds, nah, it can do far more. Let's combine that one. So this is one of the newer sounds, and they are a bit different from the DJs which created this sound. So if you can, by the way, you cannot see my web. I put it in the USB, and again it refuses. Okay, there it says ding ding. Come on, baby. So you cannot see me playing. Let me try a trick. If I wake it up by clicking here in OBS, deactivate and activate. Ah, there it is. So that's the trick. Okay, then you also can see me playing. Okay, I need to move a little bit. I use a mic stand for it. So these are the sounds from the Klangwelt bank, a new bank inside Raw 2. And what is of course the case, Raw 2 has also, we always keep on developing the code, and this one also has this creamy stuff which we have in the original Bit and Bit 2, which later on came into the Predator 3. So very nice smooth sound, very nice, very harmonic. So these are all preset from Klangwelt. It's always cool to combine these presets. So I'm just playing the Klangwelt back now. This one uses the and you see the ribbon controller. You have an option. Now you see the dot is on the left side, but you have an option to do bipolar. Then it goes to the center. You can go negative change and positive change, or you say simply unipolar or polar, which means that it's only one direction. By the way, what are the nice trick arpeggiators? We discussed last week a little bit about using arpeggiators in your music track, but let me show you a little interesting trick you can do, which is very cool, and sometimes you get a very interesting variation. So normally if you play a sequencer, okay, let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one is essentially, you see, I played it here. I can double click it. I see my timing is a little bit too early, so I quantize it so that I have it picking up, and it is more than one bar, so I can make it shorter. So then, so now it plays only one bar, and what you have, if you, so I could also copy it here by using the Alt. I can copy it over. And you see what is important with arpeggiator or sequencers is that they don't overlap, so that there's always a little bit of a note off ahead of that. Otherwise, yeah, it starts, the first note hasn't ended and the other one already starts. So, okay, so you see I have it twice played. So what I can do is now copy this again, copy it again. Okay, I need to a large plate. Okay, quantize, everything is now quantized, and let me see. Okay, you see I play fourth and each time it's the same. But what I can do is by changing the start note on a different beat. So let's move it a little bit bigger. Okay, you guys still can see it because I didn't pay attention to. So here it is. It starts on the first beat, but I also can move and make the sequencer start on the second beat. And this makes that you get a totally different groove. So I did it here twice, so I can do it here because then I can show you. So simply by moving the start point, the whole sequence changes. Okay, so in the meantime I quantize so everything is good. So let's listen to again. So first it starts on the first beat, and now let's see what happens if it starts on the second beat. Okay, so now it's shorter, so I could make that it is longer. So you can play around with this. For some reason I play solo. So let's see how musically works with the other things in the background. Just the normal thing. You hear the difference? It's a totally different story. So this makes that one arpeggiator essentially has far more possibilities musically. So we normally tend to start on the first beat, but if you shift one beat or two beats or three beats, it totally gets a different melody. The same goes for RG with the rhythm guitar. If naturally you would start at the 1, but start at the 2, or move it like I did here. So let's play it again. So that well could be, instead of having this as a loop or a sequence, you could have, I know I do a move the cycle, you can have this one. And then you have to make it a little bit longer to avoid that you have a totally, grid, yes. It's a bit too precise in movement. Okay, so then you get this variation. So that's a trick which you can do with all our plugins. The only thing you need to keep in mind, of course, if you start moving things, is that the note off is still on the time. You see now it moves, I made the sequence move into the next bar, but it's a cool feature which is applied essentially to everything which uses a sequencer or an arpeggiator or, for instance, RG. So I hope this you get my idea behind this. Okay, let's go back. And so I recorded this. No, let's play some more sequences from this bank. So I'm playing now, currently, let me mute this one. It's all presets, the new presets, which are different from all the others in RAW 2, simply to display that RAW 2 is very versatile. It's not only for edgy sounds, but also very cool different synth sounds. So these are all ARP sounds. And you see I start naturally again on the 1, but let's see what happens if I hear this one is playing. Hear this again on the 1, on the 1. And that one was on the 2. So you hear a lot of difference in texture. So I'm only playing these type of presets and go from 1 and totally. If you go to the manager, you see there are 70 presets by Klangwelt, by Gerald. This is nice for psytrance, I think. This is a, which gets very nasty if you open the ribbon control. Lo-fi. You see in the mod matrix, he uses the ribbon to control the lo-fi mix, and the lo-fi mix is in the FX section here. So it's now essentially, oh no, not that one. It's in the this lo-fi down here, this one, which is on voice level. The bass. And it uses the option to draw your own waveforms. Each oscillator can have its own waveform drawer. Line draw, point draw, partial display, then you work with harmonics. It's a crazy thing, guys. It's absolutely, I mean, a good synthesizer is good for anything, I always mention. Of course, it has this focus in terms of distortion that you can do different things than compared to, for instance, all of our other plugins. Because here you see you have the EQ, a post-EQ and a pre-EQ, and they are ahead of these three FX here, wave shaper, distortion, and lo-fi. These three FX are on voice level. So each note has its own distortion. So therefore, if you use distortion, sometimes with a synth you use distortion, which is a global distortion, you cannot play chords. So then you're limited down. And so, yeah, this Klanwelt bank also uses distortion, but you see then the lo-fi. Oh no, that's the wrong preset. Where was I again? This one opens. So each note has its own distortion, lo-fi, this section. And that's what the producers, the hardcore producers and hardstyle producers did, but they never had that inside one package. So they had to use external plugins to create a sound, because what they did, they have a synth sound, they do a pre-EQ before they go into the distortion, and after the distortion they use post-EQ and also adapter sounds, and this makes that you can create so much different, edgy lead sounds. It's a different approach. So if I go back to the edgy banks, now, see, edit, post, no, this one. So I'm looking for a preset which really shows this. This is the pre. If I put this one off, hear the difference? So edit is the post EQ, and edit the. So without the, and now with pre-EQ on and with post-EQ on. So it really makes a different type of. Now post-EQ is not used in this one, but only the. But not much, I think only here, no, very minimal. Well, it depends on the sound, of course. Without the pre-EQ and post-EQ. Hear the difference? Makes it edgy, and especially if you then go into the distortion, it makes this edgy sound. So that's essentially the concept of Raw 2, which makes a difference. You have a synthesizer, classic synthesizer, but in its voice, it has a pre-EQ, these distortions, wave shaper, distort, and lo-fi, and then it goes into a post-EQ where you can edit the sound. And then, of course, you have still an FX section, and again here a distortion, but that distortion is, of course, on the whole sound. And, of course, in the oscillator side, we also have the raw amount, which makes that the sound starts distorting by using also an oscillator distortion. So here is sinus waveform, very clean sinus waveform, and if I open the raw, so that's what you hear in in terms of concept, which is different from Raw 2. Okay, let me see. We were in this Klangwelt bank, and we were playing some of the nice banks from Klangwelt. Playing a few more of these presets. Oh, that one has a very different, this one has a swing, a lot of swing. Swing is max. So this is really triple sounds. And then he has also some synth sounds. So these are many of the... It's a nice bass sound. Wire bass. Yeah, so ARP sounds. Oh, that's a... Okay. Lead sounds. Sync sounds, lead sync sound. Dirty. Okay, let's see the chat room. Cool, isn't it? Yeah, everybody, welcome in the chat room. As mentioned at the start of the chat of the live stream, sorry, that I need to go out earlier because I need to pick up my wife from the airport in Düsseldorf. So I have a nice evening trip ahead. And as mentioned at the start from the live stream, we were playing the Klangwelt bank, and he has then also his new album. I will play the first piece of the first track. It's lovely. I will put in the description box, if it's already available, a link where you can purchase it. And it's the case, of course, with synthesizer music, you want to have the CD. The other news is, of course, that very old album with a very cheesy cover, but the cover is so cheesy that it's again very nice. That one was drawn by Peter Commons at that time in 1981. That one is now also on CD. And if you are at the E-Day in Oxford next Saturday, I will be there. So I hope maybe I can see you there. And you see the CD is now released with 3 bonus tracks, which are pretty freaky. But we thought, yeah, it would be nice to have it because it's a little history of the Netherlands and the electronic music. So the booklet and the inside, you see 3 pictures from the basement studio. You see some some egg boxes in the walls to have some better acoustics. And we did that album semi-live on 4 tracks TEAC. So it became a classic album. Many people loved it. So that's the reason. And of course, special thanks to Groove Music that they did the work to re-release it for the electronic music lovers. Okay, guys, I'm gonna play something from the album from Gerhard Arendt, from the Klangwelt Second Nature. Let me see if I can make the CD pop up. Hopefully, it should work because I put the CD in my. Okay, here we go. It's the first song. Enjoy it, and I'll make it a bit softer. I fade in, so I would say goodbye to you all. I play a part of this song, not fully, of course, but we'll see each other next time, next week, and I would say enjoy creating music, and we catch up very soon. So here is Klangwelt, Second Nature, the first track, which is called Empress.